You wake up tired, you go to bed exhausted. Everything feels pointless. Nothing excites you anymore. What if I told you that this feeling, this unbearable fatigue and apathy, is actually your mind sending you a powerful message? And in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly what that message is and how to change everything. Chronic fatigue and emotional apathy are symptoms that millions of people experience today. But here's the thing. They're not just about lack of sleep or physical exhaustion. You can sleep 12 hours and still feel completely drained. You can have everything you've ever wanted and still feel nothing. The problem runs deeper. Fatigue and apathy creep into your life silently. They disguise themselves as laziness or depression. You blame your job. You blame your circumstances. You blame other people. But the real issue? You're ignoring the signals your body and mind are desperately trying to send you. Most people get stuck here. They push harder. They drink more coffee. They tell themselves to just keep going. But the fatigue only gets worse. The apathy only deepens. And with it comes anxiety, irritability, and a growing sense of emptiness. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're out of balance, and your mind is screaming for help. Here's the insight that changes everything. Fatigue and apathy are not your enemies. They are messengers. They are signals that you've crossed a boundary. Somewhere, somehow, you've lost your way. And beneath these feelings, there's something you've been carrying without even knowing it. Unconscious guilt. Maybe you feel guilty for not being productive enough. Maybe you feel guilty for wanting something different. Maybe you feel guilty for putting yourself first, or for not doing enough for others. This guilt builds up in the background of your consciousness like a silent program running in the background of your computer, draining your energy. You're exhausted because part of you believes you don't deserve rest. You feel apathetic because deep down you feel you don't deserve joy or success. This underlying guilt creates an internal conflict, a war between what you want and what you think you should want. When you finally understand this, when you see that fatigue and apathy are not failures but wake-up calls, everything shifts. They're not punishment, they're medicine. Your mind is trying to heal you by forcing you to stop, to listen, and to change direction. This is the moment of recognition. This is when your transformation begins. Once I understood the message, I had to change. I revisited my priorities. I examined every commitment, every relationship, every goal through a new lens. Does this align with who I really am, or is it someone else's expectation? I stopped pushing myself relentlessly. I stopped feeling guilty for saying no. I began setting boundaries, real, firm boundaries, without apologizing. I worked through that unconscious guilt. I questioned every should in my life. Who told me I needed to be this way? Why do I believe I don't deserve rest? Where did this guilt come from? And most importantly, is it even mine? My perception began to shift. I realized that rest isn't laziness, it's wisdom. That saying no isn't selfish, it's self-respect. That changing my mind isn't weakness, it's growth. I made a decision. I would honor my energy. I would listen to my body. I would give myself permission to want what I want, to rest when I need rest, and to live authentically instead of living for the approval of others. I stopped abandoning myself. This was the real transformation, not just a change in actions, but a revolution in how I thought about myself. My energy has returned, not because I sleep more, but because I'm no longer at war with myself. The apathy has lifted because I'm finally engaged in a life that feels genuinely mine. I can wake up excited about the day. I can pursue my goals without burning out. I can rest without guilt. I can say no without explaining. I can say yes to things I actually want. I'm grateful for that fatigue and apathy because it made me stronger. I developed a new skill, the skill of honest self-awareness. I learned to listen to my body's signals. I learned to trust my intuition. I learned that my worth isn't measured by productivity. But here's the practical solution you can implement today. Stop and ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Where do I feel guilty in my life right now? What do I believe I should be doing but don't want to? 2. What would I do differently if I gave myself permission to be exactly as I am, with all my needs and limitations? 3. What's one boundary I need to set this week to honor my energy? Write these answers down. Really sit with them. Then take one small action based on what you discover. Your fatigue and apathy are not your defeat. They are your invitation to a better life. Listen to them, honor them, and watch as you reclaim your energy, your joy, and your authentic self.